So as we monitor the situations around the world to do with potential emergencies that might develop, either natural disasters or man-made disasters, conflicts and such, the flexibility in our response is absolutely critical. The greater the flexibility overall, then we are able to be more effective and we can be very timely and moving quickly. And oftentimes cash is the key aspect to this response time, in that we are able to raise cash for our operations to procure closer to beneficiaries, which then reduces shipping and transport times. In terms of our contributions in 2010, we had a total of $3.8 billion from 83 countries, including the private sector. This is very much of a new development now, where the private sector around the world, that is the business community, is the 6th largest donor at $143 million. Half of these resources overall, the $3.8 billion, is in cash. It was many years ago, when we were founded back in the 60s, where much of the food that we received was in kind as food, and it was coming from the large surplus countries, the US, Canada, Australia, the Europeans. These were countries that had surpluses, and they were channeling them through us for international food aid programs and disasters and development programs both. Nowadays, we have many, many more donors who have joined countries such as the big surplus countries like the USA, the European Commission, Canada, the UK, Japan, Netherlands. But notice, for example, the UK, Japan, and Netherlands. These are not large food producing countries. Basically, these are countries that have net import bills in many, many cases. They provide us now cash for local purchase, which, as I said earlier, is absolutely critical for us to be able to be flexible in a quick response and an effective response mechanism when there's an immediate need. So the greater the flexibility, the more effective and timely our response can be. The goal for us is to have the right food at the right place at the right time. And additionality and flexibility of both resources, that is cash and food, can really help us tremendously. And this is the same for all of us working in any kind of emergency situations where time is of the essence. In 2011, our plan is to feed more than 83 million people in 82 countries, which is still less than 10% of the 1 billion hungry poor. And to date, we've raised less than 1/2 of this requirement. And despite a growing global awareness of hunger and global food aid deliveries of almost 5.5 million tons in 2010, were the lowest since 1961. Lowest since 1961. And WFP delivers a total of 3.6 million tons, which represents 2/3 of the total. So we are by far the largest out of all the various players, which include many of our NGO partners and other bilateral governments who also have separate bilateral programs, which we will talk about in the next lecture.